Hello, good afternoon. My name is Victor. Welcome to another emission here in your video blog about semantics. So today we are going to talk about two interesting topics that are called tense and aspects. Well, we indeed are really familiar to this concept about tense. We can have different tenses as past, present, and future. But have you heard about aspects? Well, don't worry, today that is what we are going to talk about. So let's begin. In the following presentation, I'm going to explain what's about tense, what are tenses, and what is aspect. Well, tense, that refers to time. We can have different times, present, past, and future. When we're talking about tense, we want to know when the action happens or when the situation happens. But aspect, what is aspect? We can have the aspect are different ways of viewing the internal, temporal, or constituency of a situation. And we can have different types of aspects. So indeed, aspect give us extra information about the tense. What are those types? Simple, so we can have long term, the instantaneous, and also the habitual term. The continuous aspect. This aspect is represented by the particle ing. So we can add the particle ing to a verb in simple form, and then we can have a continuous aspect. So the continuous aspect also indicates the duration of the event. We talk about temporariness, unfinishedness, and in progressness. The perfect aspect. This is represented by the particle happen, has, plus a past participle verb. This aspect connects events between times and actions that started in the past and continues to the present. So we don't know if the action has finished yet. But what we know is the action began in the past. Present simple, this is our first tense. When we're talking about present simple, we can have different situations that are true in present, situations that occur regularly, and some examples are habits and routines. For instance, we can have, I always wake up at 5 o'clock a.m. That means that it is a part of my daily routine. But also, if I say this train leaves at 2 o'clock, I refer that this action is going to happen in the future. As you can see, even I'm using the present tense, I can refer to a future situation. In this case, that the train will leave at 2 o'clock. Present continuous. Our tense is present and the aspect is continuous. Some functions are the present continuous indicate all the situations that are in progress. That is what we call unfinished situations. And present continuous also indicates situation that occurs in the same time and indicates also plans or arrangements. For example, she's cleaning the bathroom. When I say she's cleaning the bathroom, I refer that a person is doing an action in certain time in the present, in a specific point in the present. And I also refer that the action is not finished. Richard is driving and using his phone at the same time. With this example, I refer that two actions are being developed simultaneously. So, while Richard is driving, he's using his phone too. Another example is, we are flying to London next week. In this sentence, I'm referring to a point in the future. Perhaps this is an arrangement or a plan. Present perfect. Our tense is present and the aspect is perfect. Some functions are indicate situation that begins in the past and that can continue to the present. We can use the present perfect to express past experience, like when we are talking about some dishes or some things that we haven't tried yet. A good example is: have you tried iguana? Have you eaten iguana? For instance, we can have George has worked for Google for 5 years. In this sentence, I know that George is still working for Google because the action is not finished. Have you ever gone to Disneyland? In this example, I'm making a question about a past experience, something that perhaps began in the past or it hasn't passed yet. Present perfect continuous. The tense is present, the aspect is perfect and also continuous. Some functions are the present perfect continuous can describe an action that began in the past and continues to the present, but is more focused on the length of the situation. So what I really care in this tense is the time that an action took place. For instance, she has been waiting that bus for 3 hours. Okay, that means that a person has been waiting the bus, and the bus perhaps hasn't been yet. And Derek has been fixing this car all day long. I also focus on the length of the action. How long this action lasts. Past simple. Or tense is past and the aspect is simple. The function of the past simple is that this tense describes actions that begin in the past and those actions are finished. So it's not possible to happen again. Some examples are: I ran a mile yesterday. So I ran a mile yesterday, I mean that I'm not running, I'm not still running. Okay, I finished that action. She baked a delicious cake. Here in this point, I can say also that the action is finished. This cake cannot be baked again. Past continuous. In the past continuous or tense is past and the aspect is continuous, we can have different functions. Are these describe situations in the past that happen in a specific moment, and also describe situations in the past that happened before a specific time. We can also use past continuous when we are relating a story or something. We can have those examples, like Luisa was cleaning her bedroom at 7 o'clock in the morning. At 9 o'clock a.m., I was calling her. So in the first example, I say that in a specific point in the past, like Luisa was cleaning her bedroom at 7 in the morning, I refer to a specific point, but in the past. And when I say at 9 a.m., I was calling her, I also refer to a specific point in the past. The past perfect. Our tense is past and the aspect is perfect. The function is the past perfect describes a situation that happened before another past situation. This also helps to construct a story, or we can relate something by using this tense. Some examples are: it was a wonderful day. I had been at home all day. So my cause, I can talk about cause and effect. I can say, in this example, I have a cause and I have an effect. And my effect is: it was a wonderful day. Why? Because I had been at home all day. Jane had never been to an opera concert before. So in this case, I'm talking about a past experience, something that Jane never had experienced before. Past perfect continuous. My tense is past and the aspect is perfect continuous. The function of the past perfect continuous is to indicate a situation that started in the past and that continued to until another time in the past. A good example is he had been looking for his keys for 5 hours. Comparing to the past perfect, the past perfect continuous is more focused on the length of the situation. So in this case, how much had this person been looking for his keys? In this case, is 5 hours. The next example, that mosquito had been annoying me all night. That means that all night I was annoyed by this mosquito. And in this action, this situation, the mosquito pottered all night. Okay? But what I focus on this sentence is the length once again, that is all night. The future simple. The future simple is my tense future, and the aspect is simple. It is usually represented by will, going to, and some functions are indicate situations in the future as predictions or plans. Some examples are, I will buy a new car. It's something that maybe I want to do, or that I planned. And the new iPhone will be fantastic. This is a kind of prediction that I can say. Future continuous. The tense is future, the aspect is continuous, and the future continuous indicates a situation in the future that will be interrupted for another, and also indicates two actions in the future that happen at the same time. What I mean is, Tom will be waiting for her mother until her bus arrives, like in this case. So Tom won't stop this action until her mother arrives. Okay, and in the next example is Sam will be eating a hamburger on a plane at this time. I'm referring to a future situation. When I say that Sam will be eating a hamburger on a plane that maybe it's in a certain time, okay? That I imagine. An example, if today it's 8 o'clock, and I imagine that 8 o'clock, but in another day in the future. Marcos will be doing homework and George will be playing the piano at 8 o'clock. Here, I'm talking about two simultaneous situations that will happen in the same time in the future. The future perfect. Well, the tense is future and the aspect is perfect. The future perfect refers to a completed action before another one. Some examples are, by next year, Timmy will have finished high school. In this case, I am imagining that Tim will have finished high school. So maybe it's a goal that he has. By Tuesday, Sarah will have gone to Canada. I'm also predicting where is going to be Sarah by next day. The future perfect continuous. In the future perfect continuous, we have our tense is future and the aspect is perfect continuous. Some functions are indicates a duration of a situation in the future before another one, and indicates the cause of a situation that happens in the future. What I mean with that is that some examples are, they will have been preparing the party by the time George arrives. In this example, I refer that before George arrives, people will be preparing the party. He will be really tired because he will have been working all day long. In this example, I'm referring that a person will be really tired this is a consequence, and my cause is because he will have been working all day long. So thank you. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention. So I hope to see you next time in this our new transmissions about semantics. So it was a pleasure to be with you, and see you next time. Goodbye.